Hello boys, welcome back to another session of video tutorials, and this session is meant for class 11th biology students, and this is for 15th January 2021. As all of us know, we are into the revision mode and we are revising the entire syllabus with the notes. As part of it, we have reached last chapter of the class 11th biology, chapter 22. Chemical coordination and integration. So in this chapter, we are basically going to talk about what are the various chemicals that are secreted in the form of hormones. So basically hormones are biochemical substances that trigger, enhance, control various chemical processes that take place in our body. The processes may be digestion, it may be respiration, it may be circulation, it may be excretion. So in all these processes, biochemical substances called hormones will play a crucial role. And who will secrete them? All these are secreted by glands. So basically, gland is a group of tissue having particular structure and perform particular function or definite function. And glands are basically of two types. The glands having group of cells produce hormones, and those hormones directly enter into the bloodstream without any tube. Then we say they are ductless glands. Ductless glands. Other name for this is endocrine glands, what we are going to talk at large. And the other ones having many cells as a group and secrete hormones, and these hormones flow through a duct or a pipe. That means glands having ducts. We call it exocrine glands. So whether endocrine gland or exocrine gland, both the glands secrete biochemical substances that enhance, that control, that trigger the action of a chemical process. Hence, the hormones play very crucial role, and particularly when the chemicals that are secreted are in coordination and integration, they are very helpful to us in our body. Let's see how far they control, coordinate and integrate. So in animals, control and coordination is performed by neural system. Previous chapter we talked a lot about how neurons control and coordinate various activities. And here, along with the neural system, control and coordination in any body, any animal body including us, is done by two systems. One is neural system, another is endocrine system. So in this chapter we are going to focus on this endocrine system. And this control and coordination is done by both the systems, neural system and endocrine system jointly. So there is coordination. As the nerve fibers do not innervate all cells of the body, the endocrine system is required to coordinate the functions. So endocrine glands. What are endocrine glands? Just now I said endocrine glands are ductless glands, glands without ducts. So they release their secretion directly into the blood, which is then transported to specific target organs to initiate a particular metabolic change. So we can say endocrine gland is basically a gland, and a gland is an organ having so many cells. So it is a group of cells, and this group of cells directly secrete the hormones into the bloodstream in 360 degrees fashion because there is no duct. So that's why we are calling it as a ductless. So it goes to blood and mix up in 360. Since blood flows, as the blood flows, along with the blood this hormone reaches the target area. So action is quick. This is the advantage of endocrine gland. Whereas exocrine gland, so same thing will be there, but only thing is there is a tube. So whatever hormones that are secreted by this gland has to pass through this tube and reach the blood and then target area. So it takes time. So exocrine glands are slow in action, endocrine are faster. They release Endocrine glands release their secretion directly into blood, which is then transported to specific target, as I said, and to initiate a particular metabolic change. The endocrine glands secrete chemicals called hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are non-nutrient, they are not nutrient, non-nutrient chemicals which act as intercellular messengers and are produced in trace amounts, small amounts. In our body, human endocrine system, where are these endocrine glands located? Let us see. Endocrine glands and hormone producing tissues, cells are located in different parts of our body. Gastrointestinal tract, kidney, liver, heart also produce small quantity of hormones to control and coordinate the function of respective organs. Now let's see where are these. First one, hypothalamus, then you have got pineal, these are in the skull, head region, and then you have got pituitary again in the head region. So 3 glands are in the head region only. Then in the neck region you have got thyroid and parathyroid 2. And in the chest you have got thymus. And then down in the abdominal cavity, just above the kidney there is adrenal gland, and of course on the side of it there is pancreas. In the digestive tract, if you recollect from your memory, after the junction between the small intestine and big intestine, there will be pancreas. And then in the case of men, in the scrotum, in pelvic region, a pair of testes will be there. And in the case of female, in the pelvic region, a pair of ovaries will be there. So these are the various endocrine glands that are present in our body at different locations. Hypothalamus contains several groups of neurosecretory cells called nuclei, which produce hormones. So only some scientists even today consider hypothalamus as the master gland. Hormones released by hypothalamus regulate the synthesis and secretion of pituitary hormones. So hypothalamus produces 2 types of hormones. Hypothalamus, one is the RH releasing hormones, like gonadotropin releasing hormone, GnRH, okay, which influences the gonads, production of gonads. Inhibiting hormones, somatostatins, these will reduce the speed of the activity at which a chemical process takes place. So it's a control mechanism. One speeds up, one reduces. So balance is attained, coordination is attained, control is attained. The hormones released from hypothalamus reaches the anterior pituitary gland through portal circulatory system and regulates its function. The posterior pituitary is under direct control of hypothalamus. Even though people consider pituitary gland as the master gland, in turn, now the discussion is surrounding on the hypothalamus. Since the pituitary no doubt produces many hormones and controls every part of our body virtually, but in turn we all understand that pituitary is controlled by hypothalamus. Hence, some people consider that actually master gland is not pituitary, instead it should be hypothalamus. So the discussion is still on, but practically since pituitary produces so many hormones and controls directly different systems and organs in our body, theoretically we consider even today pituitary gland as the master gland of our body. So it is located in cell ataxia, that is in the bone cavity. Of course, it is in the head region. It is attached to hypothalamus by a stack, by a small tube-like structure. So pituitary gland, adenohypophysis, neurohypophysis, posterior pituitary. So oxytocin, vasopressin, and then this so many secretions are done by the pituitary gland. I think we are going to list down all the hormones that are secreted by pituitary and justify why pituitary is called master gland. So first one, excess secretion of GH, growth hormone, that causes overgrowth of the body leading to gigantism, like Amitabh Bachchan, very tall, and you have been seeing that Guinness Book of World Records, world's tallest person. He has become tall and he acquired that record thanks to his GH, growth hormone, secreted by his pituitary gland. And low secretion causes stunted growth called dwarfism, Charlie Chaplin. Some people will be very, very short, and that shortness or dwarfism is because of lack of secretion of growth hormone, and the growth hormone is secreted by pituitary gland. So gigantism and dwarfism is the direct resultant of either hypo or hyper secretion of growth hormone by pituitary gland. Then second, prolactin, second hormone, prolactin stimulates growth of mammary glands and production of milk. So this plays very important role. Soon after the mother delivers a baby, the baby has to fed the breast milk, and that breast milk will be secreted only when mother has got prolactin. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. As the name suggests, it stimulates production and release of thyroid hormone like thyroxine. Okay. Then fourth, LH and FSH, luteinizing hormone LH. FSH, follicular stimulating hormone. As the name suggests, stimulates the activity of the gonads. In male, LH stimulates synthesis and secretion of androgens, male sex hormones from testes. In female, LH induces ovulation of a fully mature ovum from ovary. That's how LH plays a very, very important role. And of course, FSH, follicular stimulating hormone. If you recollect from your memory, when we were talking of the female reproductive system, we talked about various types of follicles like primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, Graafian follicle. All these follicles are stimulated to be formed by FSH. That is the role of FSH. And of course, oxytocin or happy hormone helps in contraction of uterus during childbirth and milk ejection from mammary glands. So that's how oxytocin plays also crucial role. And of course, vasopressin stimulates absorption of water and electrolytes in the kidney. If vasopressin is not there, this absorption of water will not take place. Electrolytes will not take place, leading to kidney failure. So vasopressin also is, we said, ADH, antidiuretic hormone. Remember, excretion chapter. That is there. Then MSH acts on the melanocytes stimulating hormone. It acts on melanocytes, cells that are responsible for our skin color, white color, fair color, black color, brown color. That skin color will be decided by melanocytes. Even hair colors is decided by melanocytes. And this regulates the skin pigmentation as well as hair pigmentation. Next, the pineal gland, located on the dorsal side of the forebrain and releases melatonin hormone that helps to regulate diurnal rhythm of the body like sleep, wake cycle and body temperature. Melatonin, very, very important. Many times you must have experienced that however much ever you try, you cannot sleep. You try your best. Sometimes people see TV so that they sleep, but in fact they don't. Some people read books so that they sleep. No. The sleep cycle gets disturbed whenever there is disturbance in the production of melatonin. Similarly, body temperature, a lot of fluctuations will be there in the body temperature whenever there is a disturbance in the melatonin secretion, and that secretion is directly responsible by pineal gland. Next, we come to another important one, thyroid gland, which is present in the neck. It is composed of two lobes on either side of trachea connected by isthmus. Thyroid gland is made of follicles and stromal tissues. So, follicle tissues, it secretes very, very important hormone called T4 and T3. And the stomatal tissue, thyrocalcitonin, again very, very important. Iodine is essential for synthesis of thyroid hormones. That's why doctors advise iodized salt. Deficiency of iodine leads to goiter. That small cricket ball like thing will be there in the neck, swelling. So there cannot be free movements of the neck. That's called goiter, and that results whenever there is lack of iodine in our body. So doctors suggest simply iodized salt. During pregnancy, Hypothyroidism may cause stunted growth of the baby and mental retardation. That's why it is important that we take iodine. Intake of iodine should be there. Thyroid hormones regulate the basal metabolic rate. They support the process of red blood cell formation. They control the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Look at that. That's why whenever somebody is becoming very, very fat, uncontrollable fat, they check the functioning of thyroid. Particularly this T3, T4 levels, hormonal levels will be tested. If they are more than they required in the body, the rate of metabolism will be very, very fast and the person becomes a kumbhakarna. That's, he keeps on eating and sleeping. So he puts on weight. So higher the rate of metabolism, higher the rate of hunger, higher the intake, person becomes bulky. Hence, the better way of controlling the weight or weight management is through controlling the activity of thyroid gland. So they treat not only for dissolving the fats of the person, they also treat the thyroid gland, functioning of the thyroid gland. Then parathyroid gland, of course, one more is there, thyrocalcitonin hormone. It regulates blood calcium levels. Already we discussed the importance of calcium, particularly in neural mechanism. Without calcium, nerves will not work. So paralysis takes place. So calcium is very, very important. Second, of course, all of us know that the main constant of the bones is calcium. If calcium is not present in required quantity, our bones become brittle. So frequently fractures take place. Next, parathyroid. Located on the backside of thyroid gland, secretes peptide hormone called PTH, parathyroid hormone. PTH regulates the calcium ion concentration in the blood. It also helps in reabsorption of calcium from renal tubules and digestive tracts. So these are the various important roles played by different adrenal glands.